Hello, friends. Um, Welcome again to my new video. Dr. Man here, Men's Advocate Program, Men's Advocate TV, Men's Advocate Channel. As we all know, the purpose of my program, we always try to identify the challenges facing men in their daily lives all over the world. We also analyze those challenges and point out the root causes of those problems or those challenges. Try to recommend solutions, to resolve those challenges. And also, we educate men and women all over the world to apply those solutions to make lives easier for men. This is always a program to make lives easier for men, make men happy, let them live normal lives, happy lives, so that the women around them also can live a happy life and a normal life. And this will help save men from depression, anger, and the loss of lives. Could also help the women around them too, because when one is happy, the other is equally happy. In today's video, I present one of the challenges of our man, one of the men, as follows. Actually, this is a issue of gender inequality. It's not actually a challenge of a man, but it can be also called, it can also be seen as a challenge that men have, gender inequality. It goes like this. Do you believe that there is gender inequality in our lives, in men's lives and women's lives? Do you believe that there is gender inequality? If yes, which gender do you think this inequality affect most? Does it mostly affect men or does it mostly affect the women? Um, some argue that gender inequality mostly affect women some decades ago, while others argue that men mostly suffer gender inequality currently. So how can gender inequality be reconciled between decades ago and currently? Which side of the argument do you belong? Why are you on that side? Men all over the world will be reading your comments and learning from them. So basically, we have seen the challenges. My analysis would be some people argue that gender inequality exists, but they argue that it mostly affects the men. Some argue that it mostly affects the women. Those who argue, who makes these arguments, is based on their perspective, whether they are the men, whether they are the women, or based on their own perspective, the way they understand gender inequality. So, gender inequality could be based on the perspective of the believer. Most men could argue from men's perspective, while most women could argue from women's perspective. So basically, what is we're trying to say here, a lot of men argue that gender inequality affects men mostly, especially negatively, and affect them negatively, while a lot of more women argue that gender inequality affects women negatively. And also, these arguments depends on the time when this argument is being made. Some decades ago, I would think that the percentage of, I would believe that the percentage of men arguing that the percentage of people arguing that gender inequality mostly affect women are larger than the ones that think that it affects men. But today, in today's current world, I guess a larger percentage of the argument would be that it mostly affect men, badly affect men, because of the things that are going on today. Most especially in the Western world, their court system, their legal system, their societal norms and behaviors, where we are seeing in many social media online where decades ago, women cannot start, beating men up or slapping men. It was mostly at that time men that are beating women, and more men at that time were taking jobs or doing more work, while most women stay at home. But in today's world, probably more women are doing more work and getting more jobs or doing more things and probably making more money than most men because of, the way things have turned out today. And most men are now thinking that everything, almost everything today favors women more than it favors men. Most especially the legal systems, the Western systems of life. Their Western culture and tradition mostly favor women, where the women can take charge. The systems, the laws, everything favors women. Everything skews on the side of the women more than on the side of the men. So that is how the gender inequality can be seen from different perspectives today. The lessons we can learn from this argument is that gender bias could be possible based on life experiences. Gender bias could be possible based on life experiences. What I mean by that is, depending whether you're a man or a woman, you can still understand gender inequality based on your life experiences. Someone like yours sincerely here experienced a lot of negative things, especially living in the Western world. Everything favored the women. So if you go to court, if you see the legal system, the police system, everything the woman says goes. Anything the man says means nothing. Even if you like, tell the police that your wife slapped you, the police will be laughing at you. But if a woman opens her mouth and says that you slapped her, even if you didn't touch her, you'll still be picked up. You see, if you go to court, whatever the woman says goes. I've seen a situation whereby a man and woman were in court for divorce. Everything the woman asked were taken away from the man and given to the woman. At a point, the woman could no longer maintain those things, including houses. She has to beg the man to come back and take the houses because she couldn't pay the mortgage, she couldn't maintain the houses anymore. The man had to go back and repossess the houses that the woman took away from her, given to her by the courts, by the legal system. So you can see from different perspectives of gender inequality. So you can argue it from your own point of view. So, but basically, the lesson we've learned from this is that there could be bias based on who is arguing, from whose perspective the argument is coming from. From me from here, Dr. Man, I will ask you to subscribe to my video, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, like it, share it widely so that men and women out there can understand the arguments of gender inequality. They can learn from other people's perspective and other people's experiences. I will see you in my next video, and thanks for watching.